Hey, happy people, it's Jay. I hope everybody's doing well today in social media world. I wanted to I like to have topics that are meaningful to the reality of where people are at or what they're going through, even if it means putting myself out there, that will serve some validity in valuing each other. So the topic came up to me, how to value, your husband. And then, another topic came up to me on how to value your wife. So I want to go ahead and try to dig into that. And I think what I'm going to lead off with is about valuing your husband first, since I am basically the man that experiences just things like that, and then we'll talk about the women on part two. Okay. I think it's very important for you to know that we realize that the word says that he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtaineth favor. Sometimes I feel like, us as men, we feel as though the favor doesn't come right away. Sometimes people look at favor as being the sex. Sometimes favor looks at, I have a beautiful, gorgeous wife. Favor can look in so many different ways when men are looking at that terminology. I think the favor is about finding out who she is and who she was intended to be in your life. That's and so when you find that out, it's a favor that God had lent to you to help you succeed in life. So I guess what I'm saying, talking about how to value, your husband, realizing that people don't just marry people. People marry their ministries. They marry their projects. I don't want to look at my wife or my husband as a project. Well, you will. I promise you. Not so much to where I'm going to try to fix that person or that person's going to try to fix me, but how, the project normally it comes about you being fixed. It comes about you looking at things with inside you that they're bringing up to help you see a different way on how to be different and how to look different and how to take a different approach to that. Not trying to change you, but pulling out the good things as well as pulling out the bad things. So valuing each other, definitely means that, listen, I don't go in there thinking that it's all he's supposed to cater to me, and that, which of those things are some of the things that should be done. I mean, there should be some catering on both parts, but the valuing means that I submit myself to finding out the vision that God has for my husband. I'm intuitive of finding out who he is, and I submit myself to helping him, bring that vision that God has given him to pass. Whether that means praying, whether that means encouraging. Men go through a heck of a lot. We go from having to be the provider to being a father to being denoted, in society sometimes. Fighting for the right to have just a job. There's so many different things. It falls on the husband, paying the bills, making sure the house is there, making sure the car notes is there, putting gas in it. There's so many things that men contribute. And I think the best thing that I've heard is that you don't learn how to appreciate something until it's gone. I've talked to many women that after they lost their husbands and seen what they had to start doing is when they started valuing. We don't want to get there. There's no need for it to get there. I say, let's take the mask off. Let's drop, the guards. Let's appear before each other naked, literally, and say, hey, these are my wounds. This is what I'm dealing with. This is where I've been rejected at. This is where I've been hurt at. This is what he did to me. This is what she did to me. Whatever it is, put it out there so we can say, you know what? I've been there. I know what that felt like. I remember this or that or whatever the story is. And let's commit not to take those things and use them against each other. But let's take those things to say, you know what, I'm going to pray that the Lord show me how to minister to him in that area to help him understand that that's not who I am to him. Who I am is to him is to find a place to help that portion of his life or his heart or his body heal. That's what it looks like to value him. You want to be a wife, not a knife. I mean, if you married him just to cut him up, I mean, you could just stay single and did that. You don't have to necessarily marry somebody to do that. I often wonder when we take a hand in marriage, what are we really taking? Are we taking the ideology of what we perceive that the marriage is going to be like? Or are we really marrying and, conscientious of knowing what we're really marrying? I mean, yeah, everybody wants to put their best foot forward. But I promise you, as sure as my name is Jay, everybody got another side to them. We always show our best foot. Listen, this is a good time to plug my book in, The Power to Build a Man. I have a chapter in there that says who he is and who he says he is. Because it is two different people. I promise you it is. And sometimes women, I know you guys feel like, oh, well, I didn't know none of that about him. Well, if you had asked the right questions, you probably would have got the right answer. Sometimes men are so intimidated by the fact that how did I even get that beautiful person? I don't even feel worthy enough to tell them the truth because, hey, why would they want somebody like me if they knew the truth? There's so many different ways that you could look at this. So, not that lying is okay, because it's never okay, but look at it in a way that maybe, he was scared too of presenting the real person of who he really is to you, because he knew if you hadn't known that, you might not accept it. Well, that's not true. He didn't give me that chance. Trust me, if he had gave you that chance, would you have really accepted him? When we talk about in terms of valuing one another, listen, that's the good, bad, and the ugly. I can value that my car is a straight up hoopty, and I can treat it just like it is, a hoopty. But if I take care of it, get this oil changed, get the proper maintenance done, it may be the ugliest thing walking, or driving. But as long as it's being nurtured and taken care of, I promise you that car is going to be the best car it can be to you because you're nurturing it. Same thing when it comes down to relationship. He may not be the Will Smith or the Denzel Washington, he may not have the perfect body like Shamar Moore or somebody like that. He may be doing the best that he could do, but if you nurture it, maybe he can become those things. So valuing a person means that I seek to find who they are, the real who they are, and I commit to nurturing that, not who you discovered and said, oh shoot, I didn't know they want to keep a job. Well, maybe it's not the job that he really wants. Maybe he wants to be able to provide for you in a way that you may not have to work, and maybe he's striving for that. Well, I ain't got time to be taking. I hear this all the time. I ain't got time to be taking care of no man that has some childlike dreams. Well, if those dreams came to pass and it took care of you, would you feel the same way then? You have to look at the other side of it. I'm reminded of Tabitha Brown, and I love you, Tabitha. I think you're awesome. But she had got so many clapbacks of when her YouTube videos went viral, and she was able to take her husband off of, I think he works for the police force in LA, and she got so much clapback on, I wouldn't be taking care of no man. That man risked his life for her every day and her children and their children. Why? That now that she's able to afford it, why wouldn't she be able to sow into him and honor him? I don't see anything wrong with that, because at the end of the day, she wants her husband around long, and so I think that is the perfect way of valuing, her husband. I love you enough to take you off your job, and so we can still have long life together. That's beautiful. But the world takes it and twists it. I'm not taking care of no man. Okay. Well, if God is giving you the means to do it, what's the problem with it? I mean, just like vice versa, the opposite way. What would be the problem? Men every day, a real man, a true man that really loves you, seeks to find ways to where his wife never has to work. That's their number one goal most of the time. And so if that's their goal, why are we looking at or letting society look at us as if that, hey, if a man don't work, he can't be with me. If he can't pay my bill, that is not supporting him. I can promise you that. It's not. It's making him a slave to you. Reality. So I just want to talk to you about what it looks like to value your husband. Listen, don't let the world define to you what it looks like. You define what it looks like to value your husband. It's only you two in the room together. It's only you two that have the heart and hearts, the conversation. It's only you two that know the things that other people don't know. So then you make it work for you. Okay? Until then, I'm Jay. Let's talk truth. Always walk in love.